You probably wouldn't think it, but today is actually kind of a lucky day for you and me. This might be a bit of a late upload, but thankfully it's going to be on the same day, because up until about an hour or two ago, I did not actually think that this was going to be going up at all, or even being recorded today. That's because since midnight, about 15 hours ago, midnight, I had no power. Because I mentioned in the previous segment that there was a cyclone, and it was kind of causing a whole bunch of shit, and it ended up going south, and we ended up getting hit by the remnants of it, and it kind of messed up the power for a lot of homes, and we were in among that. So, as far as I was aware, it wasn't supposed to be switched on until 11 o'clock tomorrow night. That's how terrible it was, but thankfully it went back on a lot earlier than expected, and so this segment can be put up at the correct time. Anyways, I'm in Lavender Town because I want to talk to this person. She asks you about the Magma Stone, and if you talk to her with the Magma Stone in your inventory, having already picked it up and picked up Heat Ran, she'll just trade it for an Azure Flute. Kind of random. And you're probably wondering what the hell this thing even does. The purpose of the Azure Flute is actually different here than it was originally. Its original intention was for it to be handed out as an event item, much like the Oak's Letter and member card for Shaman and Darkrai respectively. And you'd get these handed out to you in Diamond and Pearl, and then from there you would pick it up, you would go to the top of Mount Coronet, to the Spear Pillar, and there's just a random plaque on the ground right as you enter of that looks like a artist depiction of a generic flute. And if you stand on that, you'll be prompted, you'll be asked if you wanted to use the flute or not. And if you say yes, then you will play a weird sound, and a random glass staircase will show up with a blinding flash of light. You would go up this staircase, and at the top of it, you would just find Arceus. It would be encountered at level 80, and at the time of Diamond and Pearl's release, it was the highest level wild Pokemon in the game. Until Platinum came out, and it was usurped from that position by Magikarp of all things. There's a body of water in the resort area where you can find Magikarp of literally any level, from 1 to 100. So there you go. I think they also did the same thing with the Nature Preserve in Black and White 2, but also made it so that you can find level 100 Gyarados, which is kind of awesome. But much like the lock capsule before it, the Azure Flute was never handed out anywhere. Not even in Japan. Japan didn't even get it. Yeah. And I think a question was actually asked about it, and I think that the reason that was given by somebody at Game Freak was that, we didn't think that people would be able to work out what this is supposed to do. We think that the quest for it was too complicated. Nobody would have been able to work it out. They just would be completely lost. They wouldn't have been able to work it out. I think that's a bit of bullshit, because there are tons and tons of sites that have guides on using event items like this. Cerebee's one thing. Maryland is probably the most prominent, because he made an entire video about it right when Diamond and Pearl sort of first came out in the US and the England and stuff like that. And that got millions upon millions of views. And for a very good reason. It showed you how to get the god of Pokemon. So of course people were going to frickin' flock to the damn thing like a frickin' bird to a pile of dog shit. Bird. Why did I say bird? Whatever. Like moths to flame, should we say. I was going to say flies to dog shit, but for some reason my mind told me to say bird. I don't know, but whatever. In there we got the Earth Plate, which means we are left with nothing more than the Sky Plate to get, and we have all the plates. That's the top of Mount Silver though, so we're not going to be getting that for quite a while. But we're going to go ahead and head over to Johto now, since the bulk of the video is going to take place in the Johto region. And unlike in the previous attempt, which I scrapped because I kept getting lost and lost my train of thought constantly, you want to go in here, and she'll ask you about Shaman. I wonder if you talk to this person. Okay, well that's where you get the mulch at least. So that's at least one kind of positive, but we don't really care much about mulch. Instead, I'm going up to the national park here, because the Azure Flute in this game has absolutely nothing to do with Arceus. It instead will allow you to encounter 3 other mythical Pokemon. The first of which, as you have already worked out, will be Shaman. And the Shaman is just sort of over there in that tall grass. So what we want to do is we want to put the Super Repel on. The Tropius might be pretty decent for whittling this thing down, but I'm going to need to leave with Bulbat to put it to sleep. So let's go ahead and throw a save state here. If my memory serves me correctly, Shaman has a catch rate of 45. Yeah, just do that. Any sound? Interesting sound there. The sound is familiar, but I can't remember, but I can't quite place it. It might be something from Diamond, Pearl and Platinum, I'm not too sure. I'll have to look that up or get or ask somebody if they know what it is. If you know what it is, then by all means put it in the comments, but I mean, unless I've already frickin' put it down as in a annotation, but whatever. So yeah, this is the reason why I feel like Thingus will be decent. Also the Lumberry. Damn. Probably could have gotten some use out of that Lumberry, but then again, I'm too lazy to I'm too lazy to grow berries at this point. So, gonna go into Tropius here. Should be able to tank a bunch of the stuff that Shaman has to throw at it. Might have to keep smashing it with Rock Smash to lower its defense, because I'm not doing jack shit to this thing. It's our base 100 stats all around, and would you believe it, it has Synthesis. Screw you too. Thankfully, there are only 5 of those. And I might even be able to catch it as is, because it does have a catch rate of 45, as I may have mentioned just before. Nope, that's not very successful. Neither was that. Throw another Rock Smash. I don't know, I'm trying to weaken it as much as I possibly can. I'm at this really, really stupid point where if I go... Like, I swear to God, as soon as I switch into Bulbat and try to put it to sleep, it's going to freaking heal. Either it's going to heal on the turn I switch, or I'm going to miss and it's going to heal. That's the annoying part. And I would like to get this out of the way as quickly as I possibly can. Okay, good. There's Shaman. Took only 3 balls to pick that one up. And... do I actually have the Gracidia on me at the moment? I do not. Is there anything about in the event that says I can pick up the Gracidia? No. I might as well go and see if I can get one. I might have to show the person the Shaman in question, but I should be able to get the Gracidia. I honestly have no idea if you could even get it in the original Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but surely they'd have made it possible to obtain here. So, add the Shaman into the thing. Talk to that girl, I guess. Here we go. Or maybe I can do this. Nope, apparently not. What about you? Nope. I'll have to, once again, look up to see if that was something that I need a specific event thing for, or if I just can't get it here, or whatever. I don't know. The Gracidia is used with the Shaman in order to turn it into its Sky form, which is a lot better than the regular Shaman, because it's just 100 base stats all around, a grass type, not overly interesting, so it's just sort of there. So that's that out of the way. Now we want to go south from Goldenrod this time, because our next port of call is the Ilex Forest. You've probably already worked out who we're going after now. I should... oh, shit. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I'm going to need to bring Dragonite with here. Good old Kaiser. Because it's going to be a lot quicker to just surf across the body of water to get to the thing. I don't need Cut, though. Thankfully, I don't need Cut. Fuck off, Tully. You can really fuck right off. Okay. So go down there, go down here, and then here we have this. Throw another save state. And I believe we just have to interact with the shrine itself. There we go. Play the Azure Flute. And there's Celebi. And just sort of fucks with everything. Hi. That's the weird effect that happens when Celebi takes you through time in the event for this game. Like, because if you get an event Celebi sent to this game, there's a random little event that takes you into certain points of the past, where you find out that Giovanni is in fact the leader of your rival in this game, and then you eventually do fight Giovanni. So once again, Lumberry, which is slightly annoying, but whatever. I'm just hoping this thing doesn't have recover like the last one. This time I can't really use Rock Smash because it's also part Psychic. That was a decent hit. Alright, let's go into Bobat and hope it doesn't frickin' heal itself or anything like that. Shudders at the thought of the ancient power, not that it actually matters. And then can we go into the ball? 1, 2, 3... Claim. There we go. So there's Celebi out of the way. Has a catch rate of 45 like Shaman before it. And so that is 2 of the 3 mythicals I'll be going after here. Possibly even 4. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be going after Darkrai. I could probably go and do that, but I think it might require me having to do something at night time. Let me have a look at this. Walk into the bed in the room. Okay, so yeah, if I want to get Darkrai, I've got to get Cresselia, and then I've got to do the same thing, so... I could probably go and do that if I'm quick in exploring all this stuff. Okay, so I've got Grills with me. So now I think at this point I'm just going to go ahead and just pluck out a couple random spots with the rock climb that I can just sort of explore. One of which is just over here, just sort of random. I think the only purpose that this thing served in the original games was that it was a unique hiding place for a Pokemon not of the Johto region. I think here is where you could find Tailo. I'm not too sure. The only one I know of off the top of my head is just a random tree sort of isolated from the rest of Pewter City where you can find Starly. But and that's out of the way. I don't think there's any rock climb stuff in Union Cave. No rock climb stuff in Wild Islands. No rock climb stuff anywhere else as far as I'm aware, except for Mount Mortar. Oh, wait, no, there is the routes between Olivine and Thing, so I might as well go and do that. I believe if you smash one of the trees up here, you can find Burmy in the originals. And I think this is literally the only reason I'm even doing this, is just to see what this item is. Lax Incense, which gives you Munchlax, except that that's too convenient. The Lax Incense has been around since Gen 3, and so it does not actually allow for the breeding of Munchlax. That's what the Full Incense does. The Lax Incense, for whatever reason, lets you breed for Wynot. I have no idea why. Anyhow, off to Mahogany Town. And I believe we're going to need to bust out ye old Slave Gyarados here for this one. Do you have Surf? No, you don't. Okay, take Talia out for the time being, I guess. This one may take a bit of a while to get here, because this next mythical that we're going after, unfortunately, has a catch rate of 3. Oh, hang on. There is just that, just sort of there. Might as well explore it. Like how I'm just sort of speeding up literally everything. What the hell is this? Oh, this is how you get here. Okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. Nets me nothing more than an escape rope. I've always wondered how you got to that patch of land, and now I know. I think there was meant to be like a legendary or something put there in another hack. I'm not too sure though, but lets me get into this area with the greatest of ease, and it looks like I have as much accessibility. I think I have a lot more accessibility than I've ever had before, which is quite nice. So it'll let me get to the mythical Pokemon that's lying in here quite easily. So I don't actually have to worry about the thing. There's the full incense. That's what gets you your freaking Munchlax, not the fucking Lax incense. Which would make a whole lot more sense, but apparently not. Hidden item somewhere? Yeah, it's just over there. I will come back for that later on. I'll probably pick it up on the way out if I remember to do so. Means I'm not going to be able to use an escape rope though, but whatever. Oh, hang on. What's this? Ultra Ball. Useless. Useless. Naysayers. Olia. 21! Should probably also see how much time has passed. 16 minutes. Okay. It's not terrible. And this takes me down here, where I can pick up a protector. I think I probably might want to go back up, because I might be screwed out of going anywhere else if I go down that way. Or at least in a quick way. Not too sure, but... Anyhow, the reason why this segment was almost not going to happen. As I mentioned earlier, we had a blackout. And when the power actually came back on, it was subject to one of the most epic moments of timing that I think I've ever experienced in my entire freaking life. My father decided that he wanted to have the TV running, and so he went and got a generator. I don't know where the hell he got it from, if he bought it or if he like borrowed it off somebody. But he went and got a generator and went to plug it into the TV. And it looks like I'm going to actually need that waterfall after all. It looks like I'd have no way to actually get further back, even with this stupid shit. I'll fucking thank you very much, game. Take me straight back out here, which is not the freaking exit I wanted to take. Slightly annoying, but whatever. And just as he, like, the moment he plugged the damn thing in, the TV went on. So did the surround sound. And so did everything else in the goddamn house. And so I had determined, like, I don't actually know for sure if it was timed to absolute perfection. Because what woke me up was just the sound of everything turning on. Because I was trying to nap and get a few hours of sleep because there wasn't anything else that I could really do. So I just sort of laid there. Heard everything switch on, so I walked out, saw the cord that the generator was plugged into. The generator was outside, because obviously there's going to be a whole bunch of freaking petrol fumes and shit like that, and we don't want that in the fucking house, like, get fucked. And so he looked at my computer, because I'd switched it on just before I walked out, and he was quite puzzled, because I thought to myself that he plugged the generator straight into the wall socket, which meant that the, like, electricity was able to run through the entirety of the house and switch everything on. Turns out that wasn't actually the case. He just plugged the damn thing in, and pretty much the entirety of the area that I'm in just sort of had their power restored. So I will continue to maintain that my father just plugging a freaking generator into a TV was the sole thing that got power restored to the entirety of everybody in this suburb. I will refuse to accept any arguments stating otherwise. It was just too fucking good. I will never experience anything like this in my entire life ever again. That's just how amazing this frickin' thing was. People don't time shit this fucking well. Even if they fucking tried. That's just how amazing it was. Anyways, I'm now up the back here where the Karate King is, and it appears as though there is nothing here. Okay. Let me go ahead and consult the guide here. Damn it. I'm an idiot. Ugh. Once again, the event had to be triggered by talking to someone else in a nearby location. So I gotta go to frickin' Ecruteak and talk to this schmuck. And now he basically spoiled who it is that I'm going after. That's better. Now, let's actually go and frickin' do all of that stupid backtracking, stupid unnecessary backtracking, and tell the Goldeen to go fuck itself. I'm not too sure if I mentioned that apparently Goldeen is like a 1% encounter rate in route like 103 or something in Hoenn in Emerald for whatever reason. I don't understand what the go is with that, but I mean, it's not even interesting. It's a frickin' Goldeen. It's like the rarest thing since fucking sliced bread being loud. Because sliced bread is pretty fucking loud. So, yeah. So that's pretty much everything I have to say about this segment. How much time has passed? 21 minutes. Okay. That's not too terrible. I could probably go after Cresselia and Darkrai as well. There could possibly have also been one more mythical that I was going after, but again, the power surge, blackout, whatever the hell you want to call it, screwed me over. That is Deoxys. You've probably already worked it out when I went and explored the little area with the meteorites, but that's around about where he appears. He only appears, though, during between midnight and 4 AM. On any given night, but between midnight and 4 AM. So, I'm not going to be able to do it in this segment, because it means that the segment's going up late, and I'd rather that didn't happen. Oh, there it is. But, anyhow, the Deoxys, yeah, just sort of there. The other thing I got screwed out of as well, but due to the blackout, was lining up Lieutenant Surge's rematch, since he can only be called up for a rematch on Friday mornings. So, I'm actually considering, once I'm done with this segment, that I might actually take a week off and just line up all the gym leaders' phone numbers and get them all into the Saffron Dojo, and then possibly just do a couple of segments of just me bashing through all of them. And then I can just sort of get that out of the way and not worry too much. But for the time being, we have a Jirachi that we need to talk to, and this isn't quite as simple as you might think. I'm going to throw a save state here in slot 9, because whatever. And here's Jirachi, but it is asleep. And so if we play the Azure Flute, it wakes up. Hooray! Now we can fight it. But do we want to fight it? Because we have a wish that we can choose for. We've basically just gathered the 7 Dragon Balls in Budokai 3 and have the choice of whether to get the breakthrough for a certain character, some weird freaking rare support thing, or his memories. Just a random bunch of fucking voices you can put in sound test or whatever. In this case, though, there's only one wish, and these are the wishes. The power of money will give you a 300k cash stack. Extreme gambling will fill your coin case up to its absolute capacity. Delicious sweets will give you a shit loaf of rare candies. And then lastly, there's just challenge Jirachi. No shit, Sherlock. We obviously have to challenge Jirachi because this is the only way we can actually obtain it. And so if we don't do that, we're basically screwed. So, we're just going to go ahead and challenge this thing. Unfortunately, unlike the previous 2 before it, Jirachi has a catch rate of 3. So this thing is going to be an ass to catch. Can I weaken it with an air slash? Oh, you damn right I can weaken it with an air slash. Oh, we can use rest. Shit. Alright, we'll get up a nasty plot. And I guess we'll just roll with that, I guess. Rest isn't terrible, you just have to weaken it as quickly as you possibly can. Especially since this thing, like I said before, has a catch rate of 3. This is gonna be some ass. Go to sleep. And it has double edge. That's freaking excellent. If you have a ghost type, bring it along, because then that way you know Jirachi's not gonna do jack shit to you. It would have to be a ghost dark though. Maybe if I went and actually got a Sableye. That might have been excellent. But it's fine. We'll try to deal with it as best we can and try to catch this thing within a reasonable number of balls. Obviously, the stupid thing isn't going to make it particularly easy for me. And I figured I might as well take the opportunity to heal this thing up. Because I don't want it to die, because then I have to waste the time to freaking heal it and send it back in, shit like that, and that's just wasted time. Yeah, missed, and so it ended up using rest there. So, not much I can really say about this. I imagine that I'm going to end up blowing through about 20 freaking Pokeballs. How many balls did I use on Shaman? I think it was 3. And then there was 1, 4, 3, 3, 7, 193. Okay, I've already used 20 balls on this thing. Fan-fucking-tastic. Stupid bloody thing. Alright, heal up so I don't fucking just get my ass handed to me again. Yeah. This is the thing with Pokemon that have a catch rate of 3. You just sort of have to deal with this, and most of the time you're just going to end up having to fucking cut. Of bloody course. Why does this thing have to have a catch rate of 3? There's really no reason for it to have this such a low catch rate. It's a freaking generic base 100 across the board mythical. How many balls have I gone through now? That's nearly 40. Yeah, I think I'm about to... I think I'll be resetting this. I will be cutting back once it has been obtained. Not that you aren't already used to this, and you're going to have to get used to it if you aren't already, because this is going to be the case for a lot of legendaries. Alright, I'll be back when I have it. And snaffled. I don't think it took too many balls to catch that thing. Let me quickly check and see. If I'm at 193, that was, I think, 17 balls? I can accept that, I guess. Anyhow, black screen, unsurprisingly. In this case, though, I was in a cave, so it only makes sense. And so, our next port of call, I wouldn't be surprised if this requires me to frickin' go here at night, but whatever. In order to trigger Cresselia and Darkrai to show up, we want to go into bed and sleep. I believe that's a sound effect from, what do you call it? Fucking, what is it? I can't even fucking... It's a sound effect from Diamond and Pearl. I think it's like the one that is made like when, Dialga or Palkia first show up. So there you go. Anyhow, that was also accompanied by the cry of Darkrai. So, as you could expect, Darkrai is just sort of trolling me in my room. And in order to resolve this existential crisis of significance in all of history, we're going to just go ahead and put away the friggin' Gyarados, I guess. I don't know. I'll grab Carnivine out, actually. Carnivine will be a decent shout. Immune to psychic attacks. Can put stuff to sleep. Not too sure what level the Cresselia is going to show up at, so there's only one way to find out. It will show up at 50. Okay, so I might be able to hit it with a weakish move, but I doubt I'll be able to hit it with anything better than that. So I'll just put Grills away. Yeah, I've yet to mention I gave Garchomp the name Grills, because it has sharp teeth and it's shiny. Yes, you have every single right to hang me from the frickin' yard for that name. It's terrible, I know. It's shitty, just shut up. Anyways, might as well rip the star piece off this thing before I head off. Okay, so... on Route 3, yeah, this is the area where Deoxys shows up. Nothing here though, because again, wrong time of the day. Or night in this case. Run into random Staravia, would have laughed off my fucking ass if that was a shiny. Am I even healed? Not quite. Not that it's really that relevant, but not quite. So we'll just sort of go in. Can we go in the... Can we go in the thing? Please, thank you. Stupid thing. Still don't understand why the background for this area is just as bright as it is, but whatever. And yeah, there's Cresselia. It's a good thing that I actually showed off that dancing Clefairy thing, because you actually have to do that in order to trigger this event. So, I'm not too sure who I want to lead with. I think I might go with Flufin. Throw a save state. Slot 2 will do the trick. Okay, apparently I do have to surf. That's a bit trollsy. Literally have to stand on this one patch of water just to trigger the freaking fight. And so if you didn't have a surfer with you, you'd have to go all the way back to get a surfer. That's a bit trollsy, I'm not gonna lie. Ugh. Whatever. So, you just find Cresselia, it just sort of engages you in battle, and here we go. It is always said to be female, which again is inconsequential in the absolute slightest due to its inability to breed. Also, that quick attack did not do anywhere near as much as I was expecting, but I'm quite happy with this because it's more than enough whittling. So let's go ahead and put this thing to sleep and start lobbing balls at it. I'm starting at 176, so I'll be able to track how many balls it took me to get this thing. And the first one is broken out of without any effort whatsoever. I don't get the feeling this is going to be another freaking shitty time here. Oh, that was either 2 or 3. That was a 3. I know for a fact that was a fucking 3. Immediately break out? Alright, here we go. Let's see how many times it'll break out of the ball immediately. There's 2. Heatran did 9 after breaking out of a ball with 3 shakes. And Cresselia could not go anywhere near it. Go back to sleep. And it's been claimed. Good stuff. I started at 176. She leaves the Lunar Wing behind as well. And I end on 164. So that took 12 balls. So now that that's out of the way, I can go ahead and fly back to New Barktown. And we can go and try to sleep again. This time around, now that we have the Lunar Wing, things are going to be a bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and throw an additional save state here. This should be fine. And so with the Lunar Wing, you are protected from the nightmares, and to top of that, and to top it all off, the Darkrai has emerged. And so now we have to fight Darkrai. That appears to be the Gen 5 sprite for it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure. Okay, that is a 2KO unfortunately, so I'm going to need to send something else in to try to hit this thing. And Double Team is not going to make that very, very easy. Just keep throwing strengths at it until it is relatively weak enough. Now, the fact that this thing has Double Team means that I am going to be missing a lot with my sleep-inducing moves. That is going to suck. I'll have to try to get as much... I may actually have to paralyze this thing and just get something that I don't have to frickin' re-inflict on it. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep spamming Thunder Wave until I hit. Yeah, Bad Dreams is a bit of an asshole of a... Come on, game. Can you maybe not? Great. I think we all know how this is going to go down. Alright, there we go. We've got the paralysis on, now we can just keep throwing balls at this thing until it has been claimed. I think it goes without saying that Darkrai is going to be a lot more of an ass to catch than Cresselia was, because here's the 10th ball, and it only got 1 shake. 11, 12, yep. It's officially harder to catch than the other thing. Oh, that was a 3 and out. That was a 3 and out, damn you. Alright, there goes Turbo Drum. If I had something with Insomnia, that'd be freaking nice, because then this thing wouldn't be able to put me to sleep. Because at the rate that I'm going to need to freaking wake this thing up. And it puts it straight back to sleep. Don't do that. Please don't do that. It's 166, 144. I think we've just gone through 20 balls. Okay, 22 balls I think that was to catch Darkrai. So I think I am overly happy with that. And what other mythicals do I have to get? Deoxys and Arceus. So that's it. That's literally it. Deoxys and Arceus. Okay, so we've done catching all of the mythicals. So that's about it. I think that's pretty much it for this segment. It kind of just sort of ended abruptly, but there's really not much else I can really do. I mean, I could go and do some exploration over at Mount Silver and pick some stuff up, but the only real stuff that I need to pick up is just stuff for Meridian Sound, which I can't pick up until Wednesday. I'll probably go and actually do that if I take the week off and just show it off, so that all I have to do is just go straight up Mount Silver and pick up the Regigiga Assault on the way, because I obviously can't pick that one up off screen. But for the most part, it's really just going to be a whole bunch of legendaries from here on out. Because there's Machamp. I don't think there's anything else that is not a legendary that I don't have, aside from the very obvious Tyranitar, and I think I'm also missing Flygon. I'm missing as well. I'm also missing Shelgon and Salamence. Those are all legends. And I think all I'm missing left here is just Abomasnow, Magnezone, and then the rest of these are just legendary. So most of the stuff that I don't already have that's not legendary can be found in Mount Silver. I might pick them up over the week if I'm going to take the week off. I'm not entirely sure. I will advise on that if and when I make a decision on like Twitter or something like that. So, just to say what's going to be happening next time, probably going to be more legendary hunting, because I don't really expect to go after the gym leader rematches until I've done the rematch to Elite 4. So I've also got to fit a fight with Cynthia in, the rival, and yeah, I think that's about it. So there you go. I will see you for whenever the next segment comes around, whether that be next Monday or the Monday afterward. Who knows? But we're probably going to be doing a whole bunch of legendary hunting, and so you can sort of look forward to that. There you go.